Good morning. I'm Mayor Ralph Becker, and appreciate you joining us this morning. As I was coming in this morning, I was thinking, this is the first morning I can remember, workday morning I can remember at least, this entire winter where we were having what we would call a nice winter day. And I want to particularly thank Mayor Norquist for bringing that to us from Milwaukee. But this morning we're here to talk about the coming conference of the Congress for New Urbanism. I'm going to just make a couple of introductory remarks, and I'm going to turn some time over to Councilmember Simonson, who's going to introduce Mayor Norquist, the former mayor of Milwaukee, who's been leading the Congress of New Urbanism. And then Councilmember LaMalfa is going to answer every question that you have. So anyway, I want to tell you how excited we are about having the Congress for New Urbanism join us in Salt Lake City. I realize that CNU isn't necessarily a household name for everyone, but those of us who live in the world of cities recognize the Congress of New Urbanism as the leading edge of thinking and actions that make cities wonderful places to live. We're fortunate to have them come to Salt Lake. When they come to a city, they do more than just come and have a meeting and share ideas among themselves as peers, but they also use it as an opportunity to look at a city and to put their critical eyes on what we're doing and how we're doing it and what we both maybe are doing well, but maybe more importantly for us, what needs to happen for us to achieve the goals that we have as a city. So greatly appreciate Salt Lake City being selected by CNU for its conference this year, and we're going to talk a little bit about upcoming activities leading to the meetings a little bit later in the spring. So I'll turn the time over to you.
Thank you. Well, I'm delighted to introduce our special guest this morning, former Mayor John Norquist, who was the mayor of Milwaukee, Wisconsin from 1988 to 2004. And since retiring as the mayor, he's been the executive director for the Congress of the New Urbanism. He's in town this week for a special event tomorrow afternoon at 2:00 p.m. with one of our keynote speakers at the conference that will be coming up in May and early June. And I'm sure he'll say a bit more about that. But we hope that everyone will have an opportunity to participate and learn from that experience as we prepare for hosting this international conference. So without further ado, I'll turn the time over to John. Welcome to Salt Lake City, and thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Council member. The Congress for the New Urbanism is an organization of about 2,500 architects, planners, real estate developers, engineers, particularly traffic engineers, and other people that are interested in urbanism. We've been around since 1993, and we really promote urban form in a country where urban form was degraded to a large extent after World War II. So we take that issue on. We're interested in elevating street standards, not in the way that we usually talk about upgrading street standards. Usually they talk about widening streets. We talk about having streets be the right size so that people can use those streets, whether they're riding in a car or walking or using a bike, and that streets are a great setting for building value into cities so that the market works, so that people can be prosperous and have jobs. We are very interested in issues like coding and zoning, and we're interested in some national issues where we feel we can fill a niche that other organizations haven't been able to fill. For example, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the FHA, Federal Housing Administration, have rules that discriminate against mixed-use buildings. The traditional main streets that you see around in America are almost impossible to finance because of the bank rules that have developed both at the federal level and then the banks adopting them in their own lending. And we've been very successful in getting FHA to relax those rules so that People can build mixed-use buildings with the coffee shop on the first floor and the apartments above. Those are the kinds of issues that our members are really interested in. Why are we coming to Salt Lake City? We're coming to Salt Lake City because it is a great example of urbanism, and it's incredible in its scope, not just in terms of the fastest growing rail system in North America, but also in the way that the cities are planned, the areas around the transit stops, new communities like Daybreak and so forth that are walkable and that are planned for a prosperous future. So Salt Lake is a perfect setting. It's a great place for our members to come. They come from all over the world and all over the United States. We expect about 1,200 people at this meeting, and they will have a critical eye. Mostly they'll be very pleased with what they see in Salt Lake City, but I imagine there'll be a little discussion about the urban pattern around the transit stops and how to improve that. I know you guys are all working on that. And urbanism is really starting to fill up the marketplace. It's starting to, if you look at the post-recession patterns in real estate development, the more urban pattern is starting to really be dominant. And so real estate developers, architects, planners, designers, all of them are focusing more on these issues. And there's lots to see of how that's happening right here in Salt Lake City and in Utah. So I encourage local officials and designers, planners, real estate people, and citizens who want to see their community grow the right way to come and learn at CNU and also share their experiences so that we can learn from them.
Great. Well, thank you for your time. Obviously, folks will be available individually as well. Appreciate you being here.